roll off the lot and immediately go pimp it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't worry as much, man.
This car, I mean, this car's got to be within a few inches of a Suburban's length, right? This thing is massive.
I almost want to say it's longer.
You think it's longer?
Yeah, it's a big car.
If anyone there knows the overall length of a 73 Eldo compared to a Suburban, let us know in the comments because I'd like to see a comparison. It's great. Cars with character, for those of you at home watching, cars with character are much better with the ladies than a Ferrari even, right?
I mean, I'll trade this for a Ferrari if you want to trade.
By comparison, actually, we've got the ultimate expression of character and shitboxness right here. We've got a 78, looks like Aston Martin V8 Vantage Volante.
Wow, look at that thing.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's a beautiful
One of the best shapes to come out of England ever, that car.
That is a beautiful
Such a piece of junk, but so awesome to look at.
It's beautiful. So we're going to take it back to San Diego, redo all this interior.
Yeah.
Get a little body work done, this little dent in the fender.
You want to redo the interior with like picnic basket plaid cloth. Be awesome, right? So the interior would be about 10 times the price of the car.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get it done in Tijuana. It'll probably be about the same.
Do they have interior shops in Tijuana?
Are you kidding me, man? It's practically their only industry besides cocaine smuggling.
Is that the secret?
Yeah.
Get your interior done in Tijuana?
The body work done too.
Now that's interesting.
All that. You can get all that done down there. We got a quote. What's our quote on paint, George?
1,000.
1,000 for all the body work, all the dents, everything, all the rust and the paint.
Wow, for $1,000?
Yep.
Oh, so for 2 G's, you are so golden right there.
Yeah, 2 G's, do the interior, do the body.
Whoop. This car is...
Oh, there's a Suburban. Let's see.
There's a Suburban. You want to go? Look, yeah, this is totally bigger than that thing.
Way bigger than
Totally bigger than the Suburban.
Maybe it just looks bigger because we're sitting in it, but it feels
No, I'm telling you it's bigger. So if somebody wanted to buy this car off you, is it for sale or not?
I mean, it's not for sale at this point. I mean, after you go through so much with the car, you just form a bond, man. And
I know.
It's more valuable than the money does.
Chris, George, thank you guys for sharing your $1,000 car with me. This was awesome. Perfect California car, am I right?
Absolutely.
I kind of want to buy it off you.
I don't know if we can do that one.
I'm really tempted to. I'm gonna have to sleep on that. You know what? Go find me another one for $1,000. I'll buy it.
Will do.
I'll tell you what. If you guys happen to find a screaming deal on a car, they are out there. Believe me. Leave a comment. Let us know what you've got, and let's see how far $1,000 or $2,000 will go. That's Chris and George. CarsForAGrand.com. I'm Matt. You've been watching The Smoking Tire. I'll see you guys next week. This year, Blackmagic's sending us on the 2010 Bull Run Live Rally from July 9th to 16th from New York to Las Vegas. We're going to be driving the 2011 Shelby GT500 convertible. Now ours is going to be red, but it's not out yet, so we got this beautiful 2010 instead. Now, here's your chance to come hang out with us, the Bull Run launch party in New York. All you do is go to blackmagicshine.com and design your own racing livery using the tools they give you. I did it myself. It's not that hard. Goldberg is going to choose the winner, and the best design ends up on our car for Bull Run, and Blackmagic's going to pay for your trip to New York to come hang out with us at the kickoff party. So go to blackmagicshine.com and be sure to watch all our videos almost live from the Bull Run rally right here on The Smoking Tire.
It's like Walmart had a sale on gears. It's a fobgina. I don't know what else to call it. The Evo bends the earth to its will. This car is impossible to drive slowly.
Vào một ngày không nắng không mưa, ta cùng đưa tình yêu đến nơi ngã tư đường. Nay có hai người xa lạ quá, nhưng khuôn mặt là hai chúng ta. Ngày xưa họ đã nắm tay qua nơi này, một giây cũng chẳng thể xa nhau mà. Giờ đây chỉ một tiếng thở dài cũng lạnh giá hơn cả bao giờ. Chẳng biết vì sao nước mắt em không thể rơi nữa, hay khóe mắt không đủ để chứa nỗi đau này. Phải chỉ em yếu đuối một chút, anh sẽ quay lại ôm em phải không? Chúng ta còn ở đó không? Anh có còn ở đó không? Hay anh đang ở nơi khác hơn ngôi nhà hai chúng ta đã từng vun vén lâu nay. Chúng ta còn ở đó không? Nước mắt em đâu có khiến anh rung động. Anh chỉ cần vừa nói câu trả lời lần cuối thôi. Em có còn ở đó không trong tim anh? Rồi tình yêu có tuổi không tên, em tự mình đem chôn ở nơi ngã tư đường. Nơi có hai người xa lạ quá, nhưng khuôn mặt là hai chúng ta. Chẳng biết vì sao nước mắt em không thể rơi nữa, hay khóe mắt không đủ để chứa nỗi đau này. Phải chỉ em yếu đuối một chút, anh sẽ quay lại ôm em phải không? Chúng ta còn ở đó không? Anh có còn ở đó không? Hay anh đang ở nơi khác, hạnh phúc hơn ngôi nhà hai chúng ta đã từng vun vén lâu nay. Chúng ta còn ở đó không? Nước mắt em liệu có khiến anh rung động? Anh chỉ cần vừa nói câu trả lời lần cuối thôi. Em có còn ở đó không trong tim anh? Trong tim chúng ta còn ở đó không? Ai có còn ở đó không? Hay anh đang ở nơi khác, hạnh phúc hơn ngôi nhà hai chúng ta đã từng vun vén lâu nay. Chúng ta còn ở đó không? Nước mắt em liệu có khiến anh sao đau? Anh chỉ cần vừa nói câu trả lời lần cuối thôi. Em có còn ở đó không? Anh chỉ cần vừa nói câu trả lời lần cuối thôi. Chúng ta còn ở đó không trong nhau?
Today, we're at Adams Motorsports Park once again to drive the most requested car of 2010. That's right, you guys write me every week requesting I drive stuff, and the Volkswagen GTI is far and away the most requested car. Now, I couldn't find one in the press fleet, so I made Dan the intern take one for the team and buy one. Thanks, buddy.
No problem, man. It's my pleasure.
He's since been promoted to associate producer. And today, we are going to whip the snot out of Dan's brand new car on this racetrack, because when you're the intern, that's what happens. I'm Matt Farah. That's Dan. He's so much more handsome than me. How can I not beat on his car just for spite? would say that in the last 6 months, more of you have written me letters saying, when am I going to drive the new GTI, than any other car. And I get lots of them. So, amazingly, I hadn't driven a GTI in a few years, not since 2002. But this one is very interesting. It has the same engine as last year, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, makes 210 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque. Just like last year, all that power goes to the front wheels, and now we have an electronic differential to help distribute the power more evenly, reduce torque steer through corners. This car has the optional dual-clutch transmission, which we've seen before in other cars and is still very good. The paddles on the steering wheel, nice size, right place, and the steering wheel is fantastic. On the one hand, you could say the GTI is outclassed entirely, because cars like the Subaru WRX and Lancer Rallyart, even the Cobalt SS, offer more power for less money. However, what you get in this car that you don't get in that car is a feeling of luxury. The seats, which are basically Recaros, even though it doesn't say it on the headrests, keep you in place, and to the touch and to your back, feel like they belong in a much more expensive car. I love a car with great seats, and this car is a perfect example of great seats at a good price. The GTI starts $23,500, $23,500 for a base model with a stick. Many people like the stick. In fact, it sells 50-50 to the automatic. Dan chose the paddles, and I don't blame him because he lives in LA and drives in a lot of traffic. And that's a good option because these things are quick. They shift in 1/10 of a second, and the engine makes a nice little burble when you hit the paddle. It's really a nice, rewarding feeling. Shifts down just as fast. Dan's car, our test car, stickers for $31,500, which is, when you consider it, a lot of money for a hatchback. The only thing that I can think of that's more expensive would be a fully loaded John Cooper Works Mini, and these cars would be great competitors. But what you get for that extra money is something that you don't get with faster cars like the Mazda Speed 3 or the WRX. Those cars, they're good, but they're basically economy cars with turbos strapped on them. They feel like disposable goods because there's plastic everywhere. Here, no plastic. Lots of leather, soft rubber. It makes the car feel more expensive. And when you're going to spend 30 grand on a car, you want it to feel more expensive than those cars that may be a little faster, but aren't just as nice to touch or sit in. That's where the GTI is a real winner. The GTI that I don't actually like. For instance, the nav takes forever to find a point of interest. So if you're actually trying to find something quickly, you might be 5 miles from where you started before it actually finds out it was just where you were. Secondly, the car's e-diff system helps you keep the car under control, but it uses the anti-lock braking system to do it, which means if you're driving the car hard all the time, you're going to go through brake pads like crazy. And I may have just killed a bird right there. Yeah? I think I might have. I gotta say, I do like driving this car. It's not exactly a featherweight in its class at about 3,100 pounds with the DSG, but it still feels relatively light. The engine's happy to rev, it makes a great sound, it's comfortable, and I definitely just hit a bird right there. Did anyone see that fly off? Oh, it's bird slaughtering day on the smoking tire. You know what I really like about Volkswagens and Audis for that matter? They always have good, elegant storage solutions, like the door pocket liter bottle holder. And then if you come back to the trunk, pop this guy. It's pretty spacious in there, right? But what if you're not filling it up totally? We've got hooks around the edges for grocery bags, cargo net, and these little guys, which are Velcro, and you can make a box of any different size so your stuff doesn't flop around when you're driving quickly. Just because you've got a trunk that holds a lot doesn't mean if you don't have a lot in there, you want it sloshing all over the place. I love that they think of stuff like that. Now, although the GTI's dash isn't as stylish as a car like a Mini Cooper or a Fiat 500, what you do get is a dash that's screwed together as tight as humanly possible. This dash just feels more expensive than all those other cars, and that's a big selling point for the GTI. The other one is the Dynaudio radio sounds really good. Listen. Oh. Ugh. Dan listens to the douchiest music. Now, I think we can conclude that as a road car, the GTI is actually very good, especially for the kind of money. It's tons of fun, plenty luxurious, and has lots of storage space, more than you'd think. But we are at a track for a reason, and tonight, $25 time attack night, so I think we need to find out how it does as a race car. Visually, the biggest difference between the last generation and the current one is the redesigned front fascia, which incorporates a much more horizontal grille and not the Audi-esque Billy the Wide-Mouth Bass look. The new quad headlamp design is reminiscent of the original first generation GTI, except now we get xenons, which is nice. Overall, we really like the fact that the Volkswagen's exterior styling doesn't need to make a very bold statement. It's simple, conservative, and very good to drive. Well, we've had a good day at the track, told you what I thought about the car, but now it's time to see the numbers. Now, the car to beat was the Mazda Speed 3, which ran a 50.8 with me driving. Tom was able to run a 50.7 in the GTI, 1/10 of a second faster. Yours truly, 50.6. So, with the same driver, the GTI is most certainly faster than the Mazda Speed 3. Unfortunately, Dan's lap was hampered by a Miata driver going off course, spreading dirt everywhere, and forcing them to cancel his session. So he got screwed out of this deal, but that's why he's the intern. I'm Matt, that's Dan, that's Dan's GTI. We've had a good time, and I'll see you next week on The Smoking Tire.
Fucking Miatas.
This year, Blackmagic's sending us on the 2010 Bull Run Live Rally from July 9th to 16th from New York to Las Vegas. We're going to be driving the 2011 Shelby GT500 convertible. Here's your chance to come hang out with us, the Bull Run launch party in New York. All you do is go to blackmagicshine.com and design your own racing livery using the tools they give you. And the best design ends up on our car for Bull Run, and Blackmagic's going to pay for your trip to New York to come hang out with us at the kickoff party. So go to blackmagicshine.com and be sure to watch all our videos almost live from the Bull Run rally right here on The Smoking Tire. Today is Fan Appreciation Day on The Smoking Tire. Now, Tom thinks that if we release all these balloons out of the back of this Outback from the highest point we can find in LA, someone's going to find one, it's going to have my business card on it, and they're going to call me up, and I'm going to give them away a t-shirt. What are the odds that someone actually finds a balloon in LA?
You got 5 balloons. So maybe.
Alright, I'm so convinced this isn't going to work. I'll tell you what, this balloon with the heart on it, I will put a little extra something on it. Tell you what, if any of you guys find this white balloon, I will attach, in addition to the t-shirt, I'll give you guys a date with my girlfriend. How about that? So I'm gonna write, Tracy, date. So if you find this balloon, I'll give you a date with my girlfriend. We got plenty of space in the back of the Outback here, so getting all these balloons in really shouldn't be a problem. Oh, Jesus. Oh, almost. Setting off balloons would be silly if we didn't have a car to talk about, so here's the car. 2010 Subaru Outback, 3.6R model, and the R does not stand for racing. In fact, I don't have the first clue what it stands for, but the flat 6 makes 256 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque, which is good enough to make this thing go 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. Not bad, but certainly not sports car numbers. It's important when you're driving a car like this to kind of manage your expectations. For instance, if I get in this car expecting it to be sporty because it's the top of the line trim, I will find myself sorely mistaken. The car is set up to do the kind of driving that an outdoorsy person would do in a place with snow, maybe some dirt, and some potholes. And what that means is the suspension is nice and squishy. Lots of body roll in the corners, but this thing absorbs bumps like no road car I've ever driven. The Outback has grown significantly in size for the 2010 year, and although it looks like a big, almost crossover from the outside, what that means is you get a lot more space on the inside. Front and rear headroom and legroom are superior, as is the gigantic amount of trunk space you have in this thing. It will hold as much as your average SUV, no problem. Originally, Subaru launched the Outback as the world's first sport utility wagon. And what I take that to mean is you can do everything that a sport utility vehicle can do, but without a lot of the headaches of driving around a big truck. And that's really what this car feels like. It feels utilitarian. It's not an enthusiast car. It's a car that's going to help you get your stuff done, no matter what kind of terrain you have to drive over. And as we pull onto this dirt road here, we're going to find out how this thing does once the road gets a little bumpy. The Outback's squishy suspension, where it might be too squishy to carve the canyons, is actually just about right for rough pavement or dirt roads. And this car absorbs these bumps really, really well and allows you to just point it wherever you want, let the symmetrical all-wheel drive do its job, and keep you in line on these dirt roads. Not all is well in the world, unfortunately. There are quite a few things about this car that I really don't like. The biggest glaring fault with this car is its throttle response. Whereas many manufacturers are using throttle-by-wire systems now, Subaru has introduced its new throttle-by-carrier pigeon system, which means if you hit the gas, you let a bird go and maybe the car will decide to accelerate. The car doesn't do anything at all for a full half second after you touch the gas, and then it gives you too much power. It's really, really annoying. The other thing is, the engine, although it pulls this car acceptably, it doesn't really sound very good. You think flat 6, you think Porsche, racing, that kind of stuff? None of that with this car. Honestly, it sounds more like a late 80s American V6 than a Porsche engine. It sounds like there's sand running around in the engine and just makes this harsh kind of noise when you drive. The Outback's starting price of $23,000 is perfectly reasonable considering the car's space and capabilities. Really a great value. But our $34,000 test car has all kinds of upgrades that I actually don't think fit the bill. The nav system works, but it's not very intuitive. You have to hit the disclaimer every time you use it, and the iPod interface is terrible. How is it going to recognize that I'm plugging in an iPod and yet not show me track or artist names or any kind of information about the music? It's silly. While the steering wheel and seats are upholstered in nice leather, the top of the dash and all these things are hard plastic, and what really bothers me, listen to this. What really bothers me is the shifter, which makes this horrible noise, and I'll stop and listen. Here we go. Listen to this. Hear that? Even with the soft touch plastics on there, that's still a pretty cheap sounding racket to come from a shifter in a $35,000 car. The last thing I don't like about this car is the useless miles per gallon gauge, which is really just an inverse throttle position gauge. Of course my gas mileage is going to suck when I'm flat out. Show me a number I can actually use. The bottom line on the Outback is this. At a base level, it's a fantastic value. But once you start loading in the options, its value goes out the window really quickly. My advice, buy a base model and get the extra stuff you need yourself. Oh, this is a good spot. Let's launch some balloons. I don't know exactly where we are, but look at this view. Got the valley right there. The first ever Smoking Tire balloon launch. As I said at the beginning of the show, if you find one of my business cards on a set of balloons, call me up and I will send you a t-shirt. We've only got 4 sets of balloons. This is never going to work. There's one. Clear the power lines! All right. There's the first one. Second one. Oh my God. There goes another. Number 3. Bye-bye. Is it going to clear? Oh, they're cruising. Here we go. As I said before, I've included the Win a Date with Matt's Girlfriend balloon here. Hopefully this one will get past the power lines too. Come on, baby. Rise. Let's see if any of you guys actually call me. All right, let's go back to LA.
Who is it? All right. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Masala. How are you? It's Andre Charbonneau.
Andre? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are things with Tracy?
Huh?
Oh, Tracy's okay. Why? How are you doing? What's up?
No, I just think about the evening we spent together, and we have such a great time, you know. And I just calling to see how your girlfriend is doing. Not fiancé yet, huh?
I mean, she's okay. She's doing her thing.
Great. So when do I come and collect her, huh?
What do you mean?
When do I come and collect my prize, which is
Your girlfriend, not fiancé, Tracy, huh?
What do you mean?
I find something that belongs to you that come down from the sky in the shape of a balloon. So it's a collect Tracy date. So I
call to collect the Tracy date, huh?
I'm gonna have to call you back on that one, dude.
Hello? Ah, he hung up. But I still want to collect Tracy date. And right now, it's time for celebration, huh? I think we have good time, me and Tracy. Alors, But I think we have nice time, me and Tracy.